How to choose a language to learn quick guide. So I'm not going to waste your time. This video is basically just going to be talking about if you are interested in learning a language, how to pick which language to learn. So it should really only take 2 minutes to sum up. There's basically two things that matter, so context and logistics. When you're deciding which language to learn as a beginner, the first thing you should probably consider is context, because that can kind of pull things way out of how you'd usually, like, there's obviously lists of easy languages to learn, but the context of your life can change that a lot. So what plans, job opportunities, family, travel, etc., what are all these things that could potentially impact you, and is there a certain language that could give you a benefit? So, for example, if you potentially need to go work in another country, obviously that is going to stick out like a sore thumb as something that would probably make you want to learn the language of that country, things like that. The thing about context is that it's pretty obvious. So if you're struggling to think of anything in particular that would impact you learning a language, you probably don't have anything too important that's going to pull your language thing, pull you in the direction of a certain language. Like, for example, you would not learn Mandarin as an English speaker for your first language most of the time because it would be too difficult. But if you need to go work in China, or there's an opportunity, or you have a friend who speaks Mandarin or whatever, that would give you a genuinely really good reason to learn Mandarin right now, then that would make you go against the conventional wisdom and learn that language straight away. So yeah, if you're trying to think of like things or like any kind of context that's going to make you push you towards a certain language and you can't think of anything, that's okay. It probably just means there isn't really any important reasons for you to learn a particular language, at least until you make your own important reasons. For example, you're going to go travel somewhere, but that's okay because you can make those reasons after you are starting to learn a language. So what that basically means is you can pick whatever language you want. So if context is irrelevant, you move to logistics. Logistics basically just means just the stuff about the language, so the pros and the cons, that kind of thing. How long and difficult is it to learn? How many people speak it, and a bunch of other benefits as well. So with a first language, which I'm presuming is what you're learning, you probably don't want something that is too difficult. So stay clear of, I've made a full video on this, on what makes languages easy and difficult, but stay clear of probably most Asian languages because they are significantly harder. Stay clear of languages that don't use English letters for their alphabet. That's going to make it more difficult. The languages you're looking at are probably the most similar ones to English. So you want to be looking at probably Western European languages. So things like Spanish, Italian, French, they are all pretty. Obviously, no language is easy, but they are the easiest as far as languages go. And that's not like something that everyone just touts. They are genuinely easier because they're way more similar to understand. You don't have to learn a whole alphabet. The rules are more similar. The words often are quite similar. Trust me, the words actually are generally in the same order as in English, whereas in other languages, the actual word order for things you say is different, and that can really mess with your head if you are a beginner. So yeah, also consider number of speakers. There are some easy languages, like Dutch is very easy, but it has way less speakers than a language like Spanish, for example. So consider that as well. There might be a small amount of context if you kind of know someone who speaks a language that could potentially help you. I'd consider that as well. And yeah, other benefits too. If you really hate hot countries and you have no interest traveling to a hot country, maybe learning the language of a hot country is not a very good idea. Same goes for cold countries, same goes for war-torn countries. If there is a war-torn country that speaks a very easy language, potentially, maybe that's not the best idea because you might not be traveling there anytime soon. So yeah, just basic things like that. Think through the pros and cons of learning that language, and you will probably most likely come out with an easy Western European language that is a nice country to travel to, like Spain or Italy, that kind of thing. Obviously, whatever language you pick is completely fine, but this is kind of just a really quick guide to sum up basically what languages you should pick. So yeah, if it meets all those criteria, easy, lots of speakers, that kind of thing, then you're basically good to go. But yeah, that's all. If you have any questions, do comment down below. I will try and respond. I have a link to my website in the description, including my coaching I do for language learners. And yeah, that's all. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and subscribe.